So recapping the game, like I said, after I was very proud of how we responded after a really tough moment with Grayson's injury. Um, in reflection, it's probably 30 years of being on a college field, the scariest moment I've had, and felt so bad for him and his parents. I thought our trainer, Justin Smith, our head athletic trainer, did an amazing job on that field with his team and the docs, managing the chaos of the moment, keeping everybody calm. Um, did a tremendous job, and after the game, when information was coming back on how everything was going, communication was great. And, got to spend time with Grayson and his family at the hospital after the game. All the scans and things they did came back clean. He was in good spirits, has been released. Actually, Saturday night was released and is, with his girlfriend and his parents recovering. He's in the concussion protocol, and we'll give him time, to go through all the steps that he wants to go through before we talk anymore about kind of what the next steps are. I think it's only fair to him and his family to allow them that opportunity and be supportive of him as he goes through this tough time. Um, Thankful that he is, for the most part, okay. It's just a concussion. And when you see a guy get hit in college football or in pro football in the head, it's one thing, but when the helmet comes off and then he gets hit, that's another. And so that was a really weird thing. I don't think there was any malicious intent. It was a clean hit from the side when his helmet came off and the other player coming in. It's a tough play. And, a lot of people have asked me about the play. Was it targeting? Wasn't it? And I'm not here to criticize our officials at all. I do think that the rule probably needs to be studied. The letter of the law, that rule, he was not a defenseless player as a runner. And if you hit somebody with the crown of your head or you launch yourself into somebody's head with the crown of your head, that's targeting. And in that particular case, it was the front of the guy's helmet that actually hit Grayson. And so, obviously when you see a play like that, you think, why does it matter what part of the head hits him at all? And scary moment. So talked to him on the phone a little bit ago. He's in good spirits. He's excited to be back around the team, and we'll go through all the proper steps with him and be there right behind him. When I was talking to him at the hospital, we were talking about the play itself. He hadn't seen it, and his dad and mom were in the room. And he said, "Coach, I thought about sliding." And then I said, "No, I'm not doing that." And he just has given the game so much. He's such a competitor. He's such a warrior. And I know myself and everybody around here, we were pulling hard for him. And so it's just not what you expected in the game. Turning from that event to our sideline, seeing our guys and how emotional they were, is in the moment, wasn't even thinking about the rest of the guys, thinking about him. And like, dang, how are we going to get these guys back on track here? This is tough. And it was. There was a lot of tears on our sideline. And so, yeah, I was proud that we got back in the game. CJ Bailey came in and did a really nice job. Didn't get a lot of reps last week as a backup. You never get as many as the starter. And then the disappointment is that we didn't finish. And, really disappointed in that. It's something that we take a lot of pride in as a program. And had plenty of opportunities in the fourth quarter, really 10 minutes left in the game, 10-point lead. And multiple times plays presented themselves to us that we could have got off the field defensively or made a play defensively, or a 3rd and 3 on offense where we don't protect the way that we're capable of. Just felt like we didn't finish. No, we didn't finish. And that was disappointing, really disappointing as a coach. And so I own that as always. I got to get our team to finish better, and our players will own that as well. They got to finish. But I'm proud of CJ, and this team will battle for him. I thought Kendrick Raphael really battled in that game, ran hard, protected well. Our outside receivers continue to improve. I thought Noah Rogers and Wesley Grimes, Terrell Anderson, Keenan Jackson all caught the ball well and did some things with their legs after the catch. Justin Jolie did the same. Made a really nice play on third down and strained for a first, and we ended up scoring on that drive. And then had the touchdown later in the game. Negatives, we had 2 turnovers that we forced on defense that we got 0 points out of offensively in the third quarter. And we opened the third quarter. We scored right before the half, knowing we'd get the ball back to open the third quarter. I thought, all right, we can get some momentum here, and didn't. Went 3 and out. So that was a disappointing drive. And we got beaten protection in some critical spots. We had some guys wide open on a couple plays, and CJ got rushed and couldn't get the ball to him. We had KC on a screen and go. And then on that 3rd and 3, we had a high-low route, and he couldn't throw the ball to him. And so we got to be better. It wasn't just on the O-line. There was 2 on a running backs, and then on the O-line. We got to be better in those moments. On defense, we got 2 takeaways, and then we had a couple strips we didn't capitalize on. One of them was one of the plays I'm mentioning. Cooley does a great job stripping the quarterback. Ball's right there, and 3 of our players are there, one of theirs, and they get the ball back. And that would have ended the game. I thought our DBs played man-to-man coverage very well in the game. Didn't make enough plays when we were in zone defense. Obviously, they out-jumped us for one in the corner of the end zone on a 3rd and 10, which is a play we need to make. We had poor eyes at linebacker a couple times on play action, and then the roughing penalty was a critical error. We were really good on third down defensively, 8 of 11 successfully. We were 0 for 3 on 4th down, and those were all in the 4th quarter. Our special teams was really kind of a wash in the game. We were 3 of 4 on field goals. I think our punter is better than he showed. He had one extremely good punt. And they called us for being in the backfield, which I don't see on film, which hurt his average. But he did have a shanked punt earlier in the game, and their punter did as well. So really the special teams were not a factor for either team in that game. And in the past, they have been. Now we move on. We're at the halfway point of the season, 3 and 3, obviously not where we want to be. But we have a lot to play for, and excited about the next opportunity with Syracuse. They're a 4-1 team coming off an overtime win on the road at UNLV. Really good quarterback, and Kyle McCord, obviously a nationally known guy from Ohio State. Really good arm, poised, experienced. He's won a lot of games. The receivers have a lot of experience. Pena is a guy we've seen for a long time, and he's a good returner as well. Gadsden was out last year, but the year before we played him, and he made a lot of plays on us. And receiver number 7, Meeks. The running back, Allen's an experienced back, and they get the ball to him a lot of ways. They're putting up really good numbers on offense, particularly in the air, and will be a great challenge, an opportunity for us. Defensively, they play a lot of different things. They've been 4 down. They've been 3 down. The entire game. Sometimes they do both in the game. So there's a lot, really 2 systems that they're merging. Number 10, Diggs, is a disruptive player, plays defensive end and linebacker, has 8 TFLs and 4 sacks. And they're big up front. Yeah, really big D-line. A lot of experience, 9 guys in their defensive depth chart that have been starters at one time. And Pena, like I mentioned, is a really dynamic returner. Excited to have our night game at home. We've had 3 straight noon games. And I know from a crowd standpoint, we've always had great energy in our night games. We'll be in our all-black uniform, and hope that we have an incredible crowd. With our fans, I know all of us wanted better than 3 and 3. Trust me, no one's more disappointed than me and our players. But I also know NC State's about fighting and not giving up, and that's where we're at. We've been in worse situations and rallied and had really good finishes, and that's what we're going to try to do. We got 6 games, 6 opportunities. We'll take them all one at a time, and we'll work our butts off. With a lot to play for and a lot to fight for. And I know it's frustrating. I feel your pain. But I know one thing about this school: we don't quit. We dig in and fight, and we stick together, and that's what I'm asking for with our fans. We need your help in this game. Crowd noise matters at home. You're playing a team that throws the ball on the road, and having you behind us would mean a lot.